Again, the Bulls throw it to Pippen, and he scooped it in.
What a total great play. Beautifully off the glass and in. A nice pass from Michael.
Scottie turns it in right in the lane. Oh! Bulls back on the break. Pippen on the drive. Spins it off to Horace Grant. He lays it in and draws the foul.
Scottie Pippen, a 360 behind the back pass.
Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen is one of the most versatile and talented players ever, who orchestrated the offense like a point guard, rebounded like a power forward, scored like a shooting guard, and defended on the perimeter like few others. He was a 7-time All-Star who was a vital component of the Chicago Bulls' 6 NBA championships in the 1990s. Although people would normally argue with him being the greatest player of all time, considering how he has always been the Robin to Michael Jordan's Batman, and associating his success with being MJ's teammate, Pippen has unarguably earned his career through his proven defensive skill in the court. In this video, we will take a look at how good was Scottie Pippen truthfully on the court. Let's trace back at the start of his career. Scottie Pippen was a non-scholarship player and received financial aid for being the team manager during his freshman year at the University of Central Arkansas. He actually worked as a welder in the summer to pay for the rest of his education, leaving him with scars on his own arms. During that first season, he averaged just 4.3 points per game and received little attention for much of his college career. Pippen then entered as a senior in the 1987 NBA draft, in which he averaged 23.6 points, 10 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. He was selected 5th overall in the 1987 draft by the Seattle Supersonics and was traded to the Chicago Bulls for Olden Polynice. Pippen started his career in the Chicago Bulls alongside the already established Michael Jordan, who was in the middle of an MVP season. He had a slow start playing a reserve role behind small forward Brad Sellers. He only played 20 minutes per game in his first year, averaging 7.9 points per game and 3.8 rebounds per game, shooting 46.3 from the field and 57.6 from the free throw line. Pippen began the postseason as a reserve, but he replaced Sellers in the starting lineup in the 5th and final game of a first-round series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pippen responded with 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in the Bulls' 107-101 victory, and coach Doug Collins elected to keep him in the starting role for the next round. Unfortunately, the Chicago Bulls then lost to the star-studded Detroit Pistons in 5 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The coaching staff and his teammates saw great potential in the small forward rookie. It was said that the ultimately competitive Jordan specifically matched up with Pippen most of their Bulls practices. It was as a second-year player that Pippen began to show the variety of skills that would make him a superstar and a constant triple-double threat. Pippen still came off the bench in his first 16 appearances, but started all but one game thereafter. For the season, he averaged 14.4 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, and 3.5 assists per game. Against the Los Angeles Clippers, Pippen recorded the first of 20 career regular season triple-doubles with 15 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. It wasn't until Pippen's 3rd season that he became a force to be reckoned with. The Bulls began the season with a new head coach in Phil Jackson and a new triangle offense, a fluid passing and cutting system that created opportunities for all 5 players on the floor. Pippen's all-around contributions earned him his first All-Star selection in 1990. For the season, Pippen ranked 2nd on the Bulls in scoring 16.5 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game, 5.4 assists per game, and 3rd in the NBA in steals with 2.57 per game, coming into his own as one of the league's best defensive players. Pippen already realizing his potentials and playing alongside Jordan, the Bulls had finally won against bitter rival, the Detroit Pistons, during the playoffs. The teams met during the Eastern Conference Finals with an epic 7-game series. Unfortunately, during the deciding game, Scottie suffered from a migraine which he had dealt with several times in his career. The Chicago Bulls ended up losing the game 93-74. However, throughout the playoffs, Pippen was outstanding, averaging 19.3 points per game and 7.2 rebounds per game in 15 postseason games. He notched his first of 4 career playoff triple-doubles with 17 points, 13 assists, and 10 rebounds in Game 1 of a first-round series against the Milwaukee Bucks. The following season was considered Pippen's best yet. Pippen used the 1991 postseason to prove that the Chicago Bulls were not a one-man gang. Although Michael Jordan carried the Bulls at times to their first championship, Pippen was equally indispensable, averaging 21.6 points per game, 8.9 rebounds per game, 5.8 assists per game, and 2.47 steals per game in 17 playoff games. Due in large part to his handiwork, Jordan had the best support he needed, and the Bulls exorcised their playoff demons by finally sweeping the rival Detroit Pistons in the '91 Eastern Conference Finals. The Bulls went on to win their first championship against the Lakers in the NBA Finals, which would be the start of a dynasty. Scottie Pippen would be an all-star for the next 6 straight years. He established himself as one of the NBA's elite players in 1991 to 92. He appeared in his second All-Star game, originally selected as a reserve, but eventually starting in place of the injured Larry Bird. And at season's end, he landed on the All-NBA second team and the NBA All-Defensive first team. He also played for the United States Dream Team at the 1992 Summer Olympic Games in Barcelona, and above all, he helped lead the Bulls to their second consecutive championship. Pippen ranked 14th in the league in scoring 21 points per game and 15th in assists with 7 assists per game. He added 7.7 rebounds per game, 1.89 steals, and 1.13 blocks per game. During Chicago's march to a second straight title, the Bulls encountered their greatest roadblock in the Eastern Conference semifinals, needing 7 games to move past the New York Knicks. Pippen was pivotal in Game 7, recording his second playoff triple-double with 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Being the best player on the championship Chicago Bulls teams, Pippen was only given the opportunity to move outside of Michael Jordan's shadow following the surprise retirement of Jordan on the eve of training camp before the 1993 and 94 season. The Bulls had already marked a three-peat championship when Pippen was then thrusted into the role of team leader. Throughout the game, Pippen was not only doing a good job, but with outstanding career highs of 22 points per game and 8.7 rebounds per game, he guided the team to a surprising 55-27 record. Playing in his 4th All-Star game, he scored 29 points in 31 minutes and was named the game's MVP. Pippen finished the season ranked 8th in the league in scoring, 2nd in steals, and 19th in assists, and at season's end, he was named to the All-NBA first team and the All-Defensive first team. In Chicago's 10 postseason games, Pippen led the club in scoring, 22.8 points per game, rebounding 8.3 rebounds per game, and assists, 4.6 assists per game. The Bulls lost in the conference semifinals to the New York Knicks, ending their 3-year hold on the championship. Pippen returned for a superb season in 1994-95 and continued to show why he was at the time possibly the best all-around player in the NBA. Although Jordan did return for the last 17 regular season games, Pippen led the Chicago Bulls in 5 categories: scoring 21.4 points per game, rebounding 8.1 rebounds per game, assists 5.2 assists per game, steals 2.94 steals per game and first in the NBA, and block shots 1.13 per game. He was rewarded with an All-Star berth and selection to both the All-NBA first team and the All-Defensive first team. The Bulls finished the regular season at 47-35 to claim 3rd place in the Central Division. They ousted the Charlotte Hornets in the first round of the playoffs, but unfortunately failed to beat the Orlando Magic in the conference finals. Following that season, Pippen was named to the 1996 Olympic team, which would go on to win the gold medal in Atlanta. With Jordan returning to the court, the Pippen-Jordan tandem and the rest of the Bulls opened the 1995 and 96 season, finishing with a record of 72-10, the best in NBA history. The Bulls stormed through the playoffs with a 15-3 record, ending in a 6-game finals win over the Seattle Supersonics. Pippen was named to the All-NBA first team along with the now-returned Jordan. The Bulls would repeat in 96-97, this time in 6 games over the Utah Jazz. Pippen posted regular season numbers of 20.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, and 5.7 assists per game. The 1997-98 season, Pippen missed the Bulls' first 35 games while recovering from an off-season left foot surgery. Upon returning, he would average 19.1 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, and 5.8 assists per game. Again, the Bulls won the NBA title in 6 games over the Jazz, equalizing their 3 consecutive titles from the early 1990s. Before the 1998 and 99 labor lockout shortened season began, Jordan went on retirement again, and Pippen was traded to the Houston Rockets, trying to recreate the superstar trio with Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley. Pippen's offensive point production slipped to 14.5 points per game, but his rebounding 6.5 and assists 5.9 were as solid as ever. The Rockets finished in 5th place in the Western Conference and fell to the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. Pippen never seemed comfortable in the Houston offense, and after he and Barkley's personal relationship deteriorated, he was traded again to the Portland Trailblazers. Pippen spent the next 4 seasons with Portland as the leader of the team that finished 59-23, a second best to the Pacific Division champion Lakers. The two teams would also meet in the Western Conference Finals. After going down 3-1, the Trailblazers forced a Game 7 and held a 15-point fourth quarter lead in the decisive game. However, the Lakers destroyed them in a comeback, missing them a chance for the title in the finals. In his final NBA season, Pippen would return to the city of Chicago playing only in 23 games, but he brought experience and mentored a core of young players that would help the team return to the playoffs the following year for the first time since 1997-98. Although Scottie Pippen's NBA days were long gone, the legacy of the 6-time NBA champion, 7-time NBA All-Star, 1994 All-Star Game MVP, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist remains today. Pippen was selected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2010, and in retirement, he has also worked as a broadcaster with ESPN's NBA coverage and as an ambassador and broadcaster for the Bulls. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.